September 2nd, 2022. I remember the first time I saw the Whitmore Academy gates. Black, iron, rusted, twisting vines growing up the sides, like the place was being swallowed back into the earth. The whole building looked like something out of an Edgar Allan Poe story. 3 stories tall, gray stone walls stained with years of rain, gargoyle faces jutting from corners. I was 17, new transfer. My parents had pulled me out of a public school in Maryland after some, let's say, issues. They thought a change of environment would do me good. Focus, discipline, structure, all the words they liked to throw around without asking how I felt. We drove through the thick woods for over an hour before the road just ended. I remember asking, "Where's the town?" Dad just said, "About 30 miles that way," pointing behind us. Mom was already crying, pretending she wasn't. The headmaster greeted us with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Welcome to Whitmore Academy, Mr. Reed. You've been assigned room 312 in East Hall, top floor." He handed me a rusted key attached to a wooden tag. 312. I didn't think much of it at the time. The dorm that breathed East Hall was the oldest building on campus. It was built in 1901 as a boys' dormitory. Rumor was it used to be a psychiatric facility before the school took it over. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the place felt haunted. My room was at the far end of a narrow hallway on the 3rd floor. The floorboards creaked with every step. The walls had water stains like veins, and the entire corridor smelled like mothballs and old books. Next to my door was room 313. Unlike the others, it had no name tag, no welcome plaque, just a number scratched into the wood. When I asked the RA about it, he brushed me off. Maintenance issue. Stay out of it. But his eyes lingered on the door, like he expected it to open on its own. First night, knock. Knock that night. I was the only student in the hall. Classes hadn't started yet, and the rest of the students were scheduled to arrive over the weekend. It was just me and a handful of RAs in a giant, echoing building. I stayed up late, scrolling on my phone under the covers. It was around 2:50 a.m. when I heard the first knock. Knock, knock, knock. 3 soft taps. I froze. My window was shut. There were no trees nearby. The sound had come from the hallway. I waited. Knock, knock, knock. This time, it was slower, more deliberate. I crept to the door and pressed my ear to the wood. Silence. Then, just as I started to pull away, "Aidan," it whispered my name. September 3rd, 2022, 3:17 a.m. I didn't sleep after the whisper. I sat on the edge of my bed, clutching the baseball bat I kept from my little league days, staring at the door. The hallway outside was silent, too silent for a building this old. No pipes clanging, no wind, not even the creak of the floor. By morning, I convinced myself I imagined it. Maybe my brain was reacting to the loneliness. First night jitters, right? That was until I found the note. It was slid halfway under my door. No envelope. Faded paper with brittle edges. On it was one sentence, scrawled in shaky handwriting. "Do not answer the door. It learns your name." I stood frozen in my room, the note shaking in my hand. Who sent this? And why now? That evening, more students began arriving. My hallway filled up. I met my new neighbor, Josh, a laid-back guy from Oregon who listened to metal and snored like a chainsaw. Down the hall was Maya, a smart, curious girl with a thing for ghost stories. She was the one who told me The legend of room 313. Over dinner, I asked about the room. Maya leaned in. Last year, a student hung himself in there. Closet rod snapped under the weight. But when the staff found him, he was standing, like something was holding him up, eyes open, smiling. He'd carved something into the wall behind him. What did he carve? I asked. She paused. His own name, over and over. Josh rolled his eyes. She's trying to scare you. But I noticed how his hand trembled slightly when he said it. 2 nights later, Josh and I set up his phone to record the hallway. We placed it on a tripod facing room 313, set the motion trigger, and went back to sleep. At breakfast, we reviewed the footage. For 6 hours, nothing happened. Then, at exactly 3:13 a.m., the door to room 313 opened slowly. No one came out. But at 3:14, the camera flickered, just once. And when the image came back, someone was staring directly into the lens. Not a student. It was a face, bloated, gray, skin sagging like wet paper, hollow sockets where eyes should have been. The mouth was wide, too wide, and stretched into a smile full of dark gums. We deleted the footage. Josh refused to talk about it again. 3 nights later, I heard the knock again, but this time, it wasn't at my door. Knock, knock, knock. It was from inside, room 313. I don't know what came over me. Curiosity, fear, madness. I walked to the door. My hand moved before I could stop it. The door wasn't locked. It opened on its own. Inside was darkness, thicker than night. My flashlight flickered as I stepped in. The room was empty, dusty, but the closet door was half open. I felt the cold hit me like a wave. My breath fogged. I opened the closet. Inside, there was only one thing. A mirror, cracked, ancient, framed in rotting wood. But it wasn't my reflection I saw. It was me, hanging, eyes wide, mouth moving silently. Behind me, the figure, the one from the video, grinning. Then it lunged. They say I was found screaming in the hallway. I don't remember leaving the room. I don't remember setting the fire. But somehow, room 313 burned. Firefighters claimed it was an electrical short, but nothing around that room was powered. The hallway lights had been dead for decades. They sealed the door, bolted it, boarded it. But every year, the same thing happens. A new student hears the knock. A new note appears. I'm writing this now from a different school. I don't talk about Whitmore. My parents pulled me out, and the therapists told me to forget it. But I can't, because last night, at exactly 3:13 a.m., in my new dorm, I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. And this time, it said, "We remember you, Aidan."